Once upon a time, there was poverty throughout the land. For the last 3 years, the winters were so cold and the summers so hot that people and animals were starving. The only things that would grow were weeds and thorns, and the few blades of grass that did grow were hard and bitter. It was a time when everyone went hungry. A woodcutter, his wife, and 2 children lived at the edge of the woods. The boy's name was Hansel, and the girl's name was Gretel. They all worked just as hard as they could, but they still didn't have enough to eat.
Hunger makes all food taste good. There's no doubt about it. Just ask anyone who would have to do without it. Nothing ever goes to waste when hungry eyes are looking. Even cold potatoes taste like the finest looking.
Their mother was sad and thought, if only we could get some medicine for our sick goat so she could give milk again. But there was no help for the goat and no milk. Their nearest neighbors were Michael and Helen, who lived on the other side of the woods. Michael was a happy-go-lucky fellow who didn't really think about being hungry as long as he could make puppets, while his wife Helen was a thrifty housewife.
Hello! Good day, Hansel. Good day, Gretel.
Good day, Mrs. Schultz.
Come on.
Helen helped when she could. She knew the mother was worried, but she didn't have much to eat herself.
I want to show you my newest puppets. Look, aren't they marvelous? Oh, yes, they move around and even speak. Ah, these are such bad times. There's no work, there's no bread. Ah, it's just terrible. Ah, don't worry, they'll find a way out. But Hansel and Gretel want food to share. They are such a hungry pair. Oh, all children are naturally hungry. Gluttons are never born, they are raised. Here, you hold them. You have to be careful, though.
Thank you.
Here's my newest doll, the pygmy king with appetite.
Oh.
As much as he wants to eat, he can have. Please, or he has to stay. And presto, food is on the way. Helen doesn't know him yet, but when she does, I know that she'll say...
Silly man, are you playing again?
But Helen, dear, listen here. I only wanted to...
Give the children some bread.
Of course, I knew I had forgotten something. Here.
Good, our chickens will lay 2 eggs today.
What? 2? Oh, good. I'll have an egg to feed myself. I can't believe it, 2. And Helen will have 1 to eat because we will have 2. Hooray, hurrah, hooray, and hurrah.
Life is like that. While someone is happy, someone else is having hard luck. The poor sick goat got loose and wandered into the road. There she stood and waited for Hansel and Gretel's parents to find her and help her. But before they could get there, the pitiful little goat fell to the ground and died. The children had lost a good friend, but that wasn't all. Now the family could not even hope that someday they would have milk to drink.
Go into the house and lie down. We haven't got a bite to eat.
As if they don't have enough trouble, here comes the old crone from the village, who claims to be a fortune teller. Of course, all her predictions are absolute nonsense. The father doesn't listen to the old hag. If only the mother wouldn't listen either. But what can we do? The mother does listen, and nothing good will come of it. The old crone tells the mother to send Hansel and Gretel alone into the woods. All alone, mind you. She says they will find gold and jewels and plenty of food there. She says that there are houses made of gingerbread. Imagine that. And that bread grows on trees. And the poor, worried mother believes every word of this foolishness.
There is no hope left for us. We will all starve, the 4 of us. But I cannot stand to watch Hansel and Gretel die of hunger before my very eyes. Let's lead the children into the dense forest. And then...
Then what?
They'll find bread growing on the trees there. Break a piece off, and the bread grows right back again.
Then why don't you and I go along?
It is a land for children only, I was told. The houses are all cake, and milk and honey flow like water. Just for one day, that's all. In the morning, they'll return to us. You must agree to let them go.
They'll starve anyway. We'll do it.
And so the unhappy parents decided to send Hansel and Gretel into the woods alone, in the hope they would find the miraculous food that the mother thought was in there. Meanwhile, Michael and Helen were heading for home, happily expecting to find 2 freshly laid eggs in the chicken coop.
Michael! The chickens laid only 1 egg today.
What's that? Just 1 and so tiny?
Now, why didn't you find out how to get larger eggs? Instead of playing with puppets.
That's all I know.
All right. I'll make an omelet.
Yes?
And 1 egg will do for 2.
Please. Please. That's the magic word of my pygmy king good appetite.
I am the great, great King Good Appetite, who comes to me, eats to his heart's delight. Oh, in my kingdom, night and day, the food is good and the hearts are gay. I am just a little man, but who can keep away? I can. A goose, a duck, a pudding, just think, a beer, a wine, and good champagne to drink.
Oh, good.
Yes, eating, drinking, and playing you can do. But where it comes from, you don't care.
But please is all one has to say.
Well, please, sell your puppets and bring some money into the house.
Sell my little dolls?
Yes,
Oh, dear.
you can carve others. Why not sell these? Listen, take them to Clues the Merchant. And then, maybe, Michael, you will soon find out if they're really as good as you think.
Oh, I don't dare.
I'll come along. We'll just have to try.
Oh?
And we'll take along these straw brooms for Mr. Schultz.
So Michael and Helen headed for the marketplace in the Cyber Valley full of high hopes. But Hansel and Gretel's parents had no hope. There just was no food left at all. And neither the father nor the mother had a real solution to the problem. They were now convinced that their only chance was the fantastic story about magic in the woods. That deep in those woods, children could find houses of gingerbread and jewels and milk and honey. Gretel was happy. She didn't understand her parents' problems. Hansel, being older, was more thoughtful, and realizing they were going into the deep woods, he took some bright pebbles along. He planned to drop them along the way so they could easily find their way back. He let his parents and Gretel go on ahead, so he would be able to drop the pebbles behind them all. He pretended to look for his cat, so he would be last in line. But of course he knew his cat was sitting in a tree near the house, very sadly. Hansel thought he had taken enough pebbles, but as they went along he had less and less. And the mother kept leading them deeper and deeper into the dark woods, until Hansel ran out of pebbles. All he could do was drop breadcrumbs behind them instead. What he forgot was that there were many hungry creatures in the woods, and the crumbs would quickly disappear. In these woods, food would not be left lying on the ground. Soon the children were all alone in the woods. They heard the sounds of many animals, and everything looked mysterious and very, very strange. The familiar sound of a woodpecker at work nearby cheered them up a little. It sounded just like a woodcutter in the forest, pounding away at a tree with a tiny axe.
Out here in the fresh green wood, a concert soon will start. Each little singer in the show is learning his part. They whistle and they chirp along, oh listen to their song. Oh, they will sing, the woods will ring with joy the whole day long.
Michael and Helen, as usual, were in a good mood. As they went toward the marketplace, they saw the children of the nearby village heading there too. They went on to see Mr. Kloos. They planned to sell the merchant their puppets, but he had no appreciation. If it hadn't been the birthday of the daughter of his best customer, well, they wouldn't have sold a single one. Mrs. Coper, the customer, paid $5 for one puppet and said to Mr. Kloos, "Stock your store with these puppets and you will do very well." But he didn't want children's business at all. Mrs. Coper wouldn't give up, though, and at the top of her lungs, she called out so everyone would hear.
Mr. Kloos, come here. You have beautiful dolls to sell.
Dolls? I don't play with dolls.
They're not for you to play with, but to sell.
Mr. Kloos, for my money, I want something to eat. Don't bother me. Joe, pay him off for the doll.
Mr. Kloos, if you treated all your customers this way, you'd be out of business very soon.
I handle my customers very well indeed. You obviously don't know anything at all.
Oh, yes, I do.
All right, then, you try and sell Michael's doll at the Hertzberg market. Then you'll see how hard it is to sell anything at all.
That's just what I'll do. Michael, bring over all of your things and put them on my wagon. Helen?
Mr. Kloos, thank you very much for all of this food. What, the whole basket full for one doll?
Hurry, Michael. We have to go to the marketplace at Hertzberg and teach that Kloos a lesson.
Go, get the wagon. We go to Hertzberg. Thank you, sir.
Michael, we three are going to the Hertzberg market to sell your puppets. I know a puppet master who will lend us his theater.
We have no use for Mr. Kloos.
There's always a crowd at the Hertzberg marketplace, and the fat merchant Kloos and Mrs. Coper race to get there first and start selling their merchandise.
Now, when I say go, you start yelling as loud as you can. Mr. Kloos, who needs you here?
I'm here, and I'm staying. Oh,
Take that junk
Susie,
right
all you
home.
have is those
You're not
silly
a
dolls.
merchant, you're a clown.
Now, who do you think will sell out their merchandise first? Mr. Kloos or Michael, Helen, and Mrs. Coper? We'll soon see.
Now, Michael, yell loud as you can.
Okay. Tomhead, why don't you start? Come and buy what you may need at prices that are low indeed. Hooray!
Free the show, over here.
Free show! Hooray! Oh, stop that. I am the merchant Kloos. Come and buy from me. I always satisfy.
Come here, friends. Hear me out. Kloos you all can do without. Children, fathers, mothers, too. Michael has a show for you.
Hit it! Stop! You don't have to pay. Come and watch the play. Listen, my goods are really fine. Come back to me. I'll give you wine. Children, wait!
Listen, Kloos, what are you thinking? Having little children drinking? Wine is only for grown-ups.
Come and drink. The wine is free. They will not get rid of me. Even sour clothes must know. Come over here. We have the show.
That fat thing can't even sing. Michael starts a puppet show.
Hey, children, come over here. I have free candy. Come over here. Come see the clown. Are you all coming here?
Yes!
Then let's have a cheer.
Hooray!
I am Grimm, sweet and kind. Only joy is on my mind.
I am the father, and I make brooms for cleaning little children's rooms.
I am Hansel, and I say everything will be okay.
If you're happy, stay that way. That is what you've learned today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now Michael's prettiest doll, Gretel. Who wants the last doll and the prettiest puppet of all?
Me!
Stop that!
Aha! Mr. Clues, we've sold all we've had. Now I think we should help you.
Suppose, Mrs. Coper, you have won. I am indebted to you, Mr. Clues, for refusing to take my puppet. Big hooray for my friend Clues.
He feels like a silly goose.
He came to the marketplace, but what he sold was a disgrace. Hello! Take us along!
Come on! Hurry!
All of them were talking. That's why I never more will ride. With no ladies by my side. I have loaded up my wagon with young maidens singing. When we got into the city, hear their voices ringing. That's why forever I will ride.
Gretel, don't look so sad. Things aren't that bad. Don't be unhappy, Gretel. Don't you know how to laugh, how to laugh, how to laugh? Ha 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 ha, tra-dee-lee-lee-la la la, ha 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 ha, tra-dee-lee-lee-la. Little sister, dance with me. Take my hand and dance with me. One step there, one step here, and around we go, my dear. Uncle dear, you dance so well. Where you landed, I can't tell. One step there, one step here, and around we go, my dear. One more time because it's fun. One more time and then we're done. One step there, one step here, and around we go, my dear. Our parents will never come back. I'm so afraid. Don't be such a scaredy cat. All we have to do is find the breadcrumbs and the pebbles. Come help me. Whoever finds the first breadcrumb is king. Hansel, have you found any breadcrumbs yet? No, not yet. Look, the birds have eaten them all. We'll never get out of this forest, Hansel. We can still find the pebbles. The birds wouldn't eat them.
There are the pebbles. Hansel, look. Oh, they were hidden by the branches.
Hansel, the woods are burning. Don't be silly. That's only the setting sun.
Getting darker and darker. But soon the beautiful moon came up and brought its silvery light into the deep forest. Hansel and Gretel were completely lost and, exhausted, looked for a place to sleep.
Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Amen. Good night.
Now sleep, children, and dream, and soon the Sandman will be with you.
Come with me to King Good Appetite. Come.
And sure enough, the Sandman led the children in their dream to that wonderful kingdom they had heard Michael talk about, the kingdom of good appetite, where no one ever goes hungry. Because in that kingdom, everyone gets as much as he wants to eat. All you have to do is say please.
I am the great, great King Good Appetite, who comes to me, eats to his heart's delight. Oh, in my kingdom night and day, the food is good and the hearts are gay. Oh, I am just a little man, but who can eat the way I can? A goose, a duck, a pudding, just think, a beer, a wine, and good champagne to drink.
A chicken, please. A roast, please.
A sausage, please.
If you say please at our king's table, you'll eat as much as ever you are able. The food you want will be before you. Good Appetite will get it for you.
We've had enough of meat and bread. Now it's time to dance instead.
We've had enough to eat now. We drank champagne and beer. The time has come to dance now. Oh, dance and dance from here. Dance with us now, we beseech you. And if you can, we will teach you. Dance with us now, we beseech you. And if you can, we'll teach you.
Hansel, Gretel, come on in. You two are my guests today.
Here is your meal.
But even the most wonderful dream has to end, and the children woke up still hungry. That morning, the parents were terribly worried. They felt guilty about leaving the children alone in the woods. So they wandered through the bushes, calling at the top of their lungs,
Hansel, Gretel!
But Hansel and Gretel went further and further away, eating berries to give them strength. On and on they went. They kept on walking, but where to? How could they ever find their way home again? Now, as they walked, they were accompanied everywhere by a beautiful little snow-white bird.
Well, see that white bird over there? Let's follow it and see where it leads us.
And so the children followed the little white bird.
Hansel, a house. Yes, I see it. Children made of gingerbread. And the house. I wonder if we can eat it. It looks like cake and candy. Let's try it. You go taste some of the window, and I'll try a piece of the roof. Hansel, I think the window is sugar. I'll try some more. It's very sweet. Hansel, it's really sweet sugar. Gretel, it's bread. Honest, it's bread. It's really bread. We'll take some back for our parents.
Who is nibbling on my house? Can it be a little mouse?
The wind. The wind. It's only the wind. The wind. The wind. It's only the wind.
Little children were so hungry. And so they eat the roof of an old lady's house. Yeah.
Excuse us, old lady. We got lost in the woods, and we were so hungry.
You were lost in the woods. And you were so hungry. Yeah. And what if it rained into the old lady's house, eh?
I know how to bake. I'll patch up the roof.
Oh, a child wants to fix the leaky roof. And can you really bake?
Yeah. Gretel can bake. Oh, but not for you. You look mean.
I'm not so mean. You come in and stay with me, and I'll serve you a delicious dinner with lots of eggs.
Come, Hansel, come. Tell me, old lady, do you serve lots of eggs every day?
Why do you ask?
Because you sound like a chicken.
Hocus pocus, Jiminy Gazelle. Now stand there absolutely still. Move when I wave the stick. Now then, into the cage, be gone. I will cook you later on. You're my dinner. Yeah. Before you talked a lot, I will strike you dumb, that's what. As dumb as all the gingerbread children out there. And now, with the greatest care, I'll feed you till you're fat and cook you a special stew and make a nice round roast of you.
lend a hand. Take this bowl and feed Hansel, so he will be like a plump stuffed goose. I'll sweep the oven clean and make a nice hot fire.
Don't eat. No, don't eat it.
Well, Hansel is no dummy. He doesn't eat that stew, and Gretel gives him a chicken bone to show the witch. The witch was anxious to see if her fattening stew was working. Hansel showed her the chicken bone, and the witch, who could hardly see, decided Gretel hadn't fed him, and she was angry. The stupid witch didn't know they had played a trick on her.
Gretel said that she could bake, so I'll turn her into a cake. Hey, Gretel, will you please come here? Help a poor old lady, dear. Go see if the fire is ready for cooking.
You're afraid of the oven door.
What? I can't do it. You'll soon see how easy that will be for me. Here I go. Take a look. I'll soon see if the stove will cook. I'll open it. Feel the heat. Soon I will eat. Roasted Hansel will be sweet. What a roast he'll make. Sweet just like a honey cake. Wait a while and you will see. A roast is what he'll be. Now everyone will sing with me.